What's going on, y'all? So, in the car right now on the highway, and I thought I'd just throw my phone up and record a little something and talk a little bit about something that I've been thinking a lot about recently. And because I often find myself, wishing that I was in a better position, whether that be financially, physically, spiritually, whatever it is. And the truth is that we are exactly where we are supposed to be at this current place and time. And that we are all on the path that God has laid out for us. And we think that we should be better than we are, in a better situation than we are in right now. But if we were in a different situation, then this would not be God's plan for us. So, one thing that just has brought me a lot of peace with it, and of course I still go and I just wish that things could be better, because especially on social media, you just see so many people doing so much better than you. And a lot of the times, it's people that are the same age as you too. Whether you're in high school and you see these kids that are day trading in class and posting videos saying, I made $15,000 today in my algebra class. And it's like, you could be in high school and that just makes you feel like shit. Or someone who's older like me, you see that and you're like, wow, like, am I behind? Am I not where I'm supposed to be? Am I not, doing the right things to succeed? And it's easy to get caught up in that. Even if the same thing goes for me, I'm 21, same thing goes for, I'm 21 years old and I just bought my Lamborghini Urus. It's like, man, but you have to realize that they are in that position because that is where God has chosen them to be for the path that they're on. And also, you don't realize, because it's social media, you don't see everything else that goes on behind the scenes. So for instance, like Dave Ramsey, if y'all know who that is, the financial guy, he has a TikTok. And one of his videos that he posted, a caller called in and just was saying something, and he related it to keeping up with the Joneses. And it was a woman who said, I'm 31 and I make $60,000 a year. I have, she had like little debt, and she's like, I don't have a boyfriend. Like, I don't have a husband. I don't have kids. I'm 31. And she's like, I just feel like I'm behind. And so he starts talking about, keeping up with the Joneses, and how, back before social media, all that you had to see, the Joneses, were your neighbors that were next door. So keeping up with the Joneses just meant when you saw that your neighbors got a new car or something, or they made an upgrade to their house, did a renovation, that keeping up with the Joneses meant that you had to go get the new car and that you had to add something new to your house. And so what he then explained is that social media has added this factor of, you see a 21-year-old, you're 21, you see a 21-year-old who is out here making, 30, 40, 50 grand a month, or whatever they claim to be making, and they live in these super nice, Miami high-rise, New York high-rise apartments, whatever. And you just think that their life is perfect, but you don't get to see all the shit that truly happens behind the scenes. You aren't seeing, if they have a girlfriend, you aren't seeing the fights. You aren't seeing the losses that these people have taken on the way to getting to that level of success. Whereas keeping up with the Joneses, you knew that, they just got a new car, but you could hear them in their house, husband and wife, having an argument, or you could hear them, scolding their kids, and you saw and heard and lived all the things that they went through. So it made it just feel more normal, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, they got the new stuff, but they're going through the same things that I'm going through. Whereas social media, you don't get to see any of that. And I know that's a long way to tie this all together, but it's so easy to get caught up in this stuff. But But the truth is that everything that we see online is not the full story. It is not the full story. And whether someone that you see online making all this money, or, you're late in your 20s or 30s and you don't have a husband or wife and you don't have the career you want, there's a reason that you are not in the position that you want to be right now. And that is because God knows that you're probably not ready for it. If we're being honest, that you might not be ready for it. And every little thing, and I've learned this, that every little thing that seems so small in our lives always serves a purpose, and it's part of God's plan, no matter what it is. No matter if it's some little car wreck, or if you were late to work, or you got fired from your job, or you got an injury, every little thing is part of his plan. Okay? I need y'all to understand that every little thing is a part of his plan. So you just have to look for the deeper meaning in things, and start to look for the whys. And I wrote something on my Instagram about questioning God, and I was basically just saying, how do we have the nuts to question God? And just I went on this big rant, who do we think we are to be able to ask him why things happen? And I went to church this past Sunday, and the pastor was talking, and I forget the term that's used for it. I forget the term that he used, but basically he was saying that we should be questioning God. We should be in prayer asking God, why did you let this happen? But at the end of it, after you complain, because it is okay to complain to God, it is more than okay to do that. And so he was saying, complain to God, ask him why, ask him questions, tell him how you really feel. But then at the end of it, you need to tell him that you know that he has everything in control and that you trust him. Because it's one thing to question God and then say, but I wonder why this all happened. I don't really understand, but I know that you are leading me down the right path. I know that my life is in your hands and you're taking me where I'm supposed to go. There's a difference between that and in anger, saying, Lord, why could you do this? I can't believe you did this. Saying you betrayed my trust and this, that, the other. There's a difference between those two things. And it really is something that I've been working on, because like I said, I wrote that because I truly believe that. I was like, who am I to question the creator of the universe who died on the cross to save us from all of our sins? I was like, who do I think I am? Just some kid, some human who has, who can never fully grasp and understand what Jesus actually went through. Who am I to question him? But after going to church, I learned that it is okay to do that, and that God wants us to ask those type of questions, but we need to make sure that we are acknowledging the fact that we trust him and we know that he's doing what's best for us. And it's hard to see it in the moment when you're going through something that just sucks. I'm just being honest, I get it. And I'm gonna say that for me personally, I went through a breakup at the end of 2023, right before Thanksgiving, girl that I dated for almost 3 years. And I was questioning God and just why would he let this happen after all this time, because her and I had broken up and got back together, and there was a lot of things that went into it. And I prayed about that every night. I prayed for our relationship every night, and I would say to God, if this isn't the right thing for me, like, please just, like, set me free from it. Not set me free is the wrong way, but you know what I mean? Like, if this isn't right and this isn't what's supposed to happen, like, please just get me out of it now. And then when finally we ended up getting back together and staying together for months and finally eventually just breaking up, I was furious and I was mad at God because I had prayed these prayers when we were going through these things in our relationship, and then, you know, it would always work out. We'd always seem to find a way and everything would be okay. And I guess I just thought that was God, and that he heard me praying to him and saying all these things to him, and, you know, that it was the right, like, that it was meant to be because he was keeping us together and all this stuff. And then when I was furious after we finally broke up and I knew, like, okay, like, that's it, that I was so mad at him. I was so mad. And what I've come now to realize is that God definitely heard me, and he knew that it wasn't right. He knew that it wasn't, like, what was right for me at that time. But just because I said I wanted him to take me out of that situation right then and there and, you know, break it off now, that doesn't mean that he has to, because that wasn't a part of his plan. That was not a part of his plan to break me off from that relationship at that time, because he was trying to teach me lessons. He was trying to show me things that, you know, if he would have ended it for me right when I said, there would be things right now that I would not know, and things about myself I would have never discovered, and all these crazy things that happen that I'm not going to talk about, but that I've discovered just in general. And it's crazy because I genuinely would not be in the position that I'm in right now if he did listen to me. And it's just because simply it wasn't part of his plan for me. And it took me a while to understand that, but now I do. But that's what I'm trying to get at, is that things might suck and you're like, why would this loving God with all this grace, why would he make me go through such a hard time? Why would he put me through this misery? Like, he knows I hate it, and, you know, this, that, the other. And that's because he's trying to show you something. He's trying to teach you something. And he's helping you grow and molding you slowly into the person that you're going to be and the kind of Christian that you're going to be. Like, if you think about it, if you never went through any of the things that you've been through in your life that have been difficult, you would not be the person that you are today at all. Like, I was watching, I don't know if any of y'all pay attention to golf, but I was watching this YouTube channel called Bob Does Sports. I've been watching them for a long time. And I was doing my cardio today, and I turned on their video, and I'm watching it, and Jet, one of the filmers, one of the cameramen, is asking Joey D, who's one of the golfers, there's 3 of them, he's one of them, and he's asking him, he's like, or Joey D asked Jet the filmer, he goes, you know, do you have any, like, not regrets, but do you wish there was anything you could make different about your life? And they're in the middle of playing their round. And he goes, yeah, you know, I wish I would have started this a little bit sooner. And Joey D goes, why? You're so young. And he goes, well, you know, I mean, I wish that we all could have been young when this all started, and, you know, we could have been able to enjoy it a little bit more. And then Joey D, he goes, do you not feel that way? And Joey D goes, no, because everything that I've done up until this point in my life has led me to being at this point in my life. And I was like, wow, that is so true. You know, if he hadn't, and I know that him and Bob, one of the other guys who started the channel together, used to work at the Four Seasons together. They used to work at hotels together, whatever. There's probably more to it. But, like, all of this channel and their friendship and everything, and this bond that they have together was forged through the difficult times that the two of them went together in their life. And then they made a YouTube channel, they started posting content, they got a filmer, then they got another filmer, and then they added a third golfer on. And it's like, you know, all these things that they went through and everything that has gone on in their life has led them to be in this exact position. And he was like, you know, there's nothing that I would ever change. He goes, if I could go back and do it again, I would, because everything that I've done in my life led me to be in this position. And I just thought that was really, really cool and a great way to think about it. And yeah, I know that I could have been repeating a lot of things I was saying there. I hope I made sense, but yeah, it's hard when you're going through it and you're in a valley, but remember, for each mountaintop, there are two valleys. All right? I think I just said that right. I think it's something like that. For every valley, there's one mountaintop, or for every valley, there's two mountains. I don't know. For every mountain, there's two valleys. All right? You have to go through the mud and the bottom to get to the top. And if you didn't have to go through these things in life, if you didn't have to suffer and just make it through, push yourself through, would it really mean anything when you got everything that you ever wanted? Would it really mean anything, or mean as much? Would it taste as sweet when you got everything that you ever wanted in life? Probably not. But the fact that we have to work for things and we have to evolve as humans, physically, mentally, and spiritually all the time, and as we go throughout our lives, every day, every week, every month, every year has its own new challenges. And every time you get through one of those, you learn a little something about yourself, and you build a little bit more confidence within yourself that you can get through just about anything that you want. When you get to the point where you've been through enough shit that, when you get to the point in your life where you've been through enough shit, you've built enough confidence in yourself to know that you can get through just about anything. Really. Like, it's true. And anyone who's experienced, the same, you get what I'm talking about here. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here and talk about that a little bit, because I know that it is hard to be in this tough spot. And, even if you feel like you don't have anybody there and you're questioning why God has put you there, or why he's kept you there for so long, or any of those things, you need to realize that there is always a reason that he's doing it. He moves, everything that he does has a purpose behind it. God does not make mistakes. He doesn't do things by accident. Everything has meaning and has purpose behind it. So just remember that. But all right, I hope you'll have a great night. Get in your word tonight and get after it with your healthy eating habits, getting in the gym, and yeah, I'll see y'all.